Hello, my name is Sam Bruner. I'm here today with my group members Zach and Austin, and today we will be describing our Pendant project to you guys and talk a little bit about how we're able to use it to analyze code in Visual Studio so that we can automatically correct various errors and naming convention issues for students before they even have to go through a TA. The purpose of this project is designed just so that we could help newer CS students that are often have trouble adapting to just professional coding standards that K-State tries to use in a lot of their classes. So by providing an analyzer, the students would be able to see their errors as they make them, and so they wouldn't have to just take a hit on a grade or on an assignment before they figure out what they did wrong. For a more generalized description of this and everything that's going on with the project, I'm going to toss it over to one of my group members, Zach.
Hello, I'm going to talk to you about the analyzer that I've been working on, which is mostly the comment section. We are focusing on this because the comment section is often left out when a student does their program because it's not actually necessary to make the program work. But it's important to show exactly what your program does, so it's easy to read. So we added analyzers that show when, for instance, you don't have your parameters included as the description in your summary, when you don't have the summary at all, and then when you don't have any summary included at all. It'll show you the errors. That way, it'll make it so the student notices they don't have the comments when they need them, and it'll make it so it's easier for them to fix that problem. So then let me pass it on to Austin now so he can talk about the section he's worked on.
Okay, all right, so I worked on the naming conventions part of the project. So basically, whenever a new CS student gets into it, they might start naming things like, for example, in this struct, they would set like a general int I equals 0. And then, eventually they would come back to the code later and they wouldn't actually know what that int I was doing or meaning or anything. So one of the things we have is it'll say like fields must have private fields should start with an underscore. So certain private fields, since it's struct and it's defaulted to private, you would need an underscore, which is just a default convention, and more proper naming conventions rather than just I. So at least they know what it is later on. Other things we were testing for is in the public get. So if the test were to refer to itself, it would throw an error right on here saying okay. Actually, I need to return it, that's why. And then as you see at the bottom, properties should not be referencing themselves, which is another common error that students run into, that they reference themselves in the properties, which gives you infinite recursion and ultimately breaks the program. So my focus was more on making it so that their naming conventions were more compliant to the Kansas State standards set by the professors, and making so their code is a little bit more readable and just catching some simple errors that they might not understand right at the beginning. So then I'm just going to go ahead and pass it off to Sam to wrap it up.
Alrighty. And let's see. As for, I guess, a conclusion, so the main purpose, or I guess for what I did, I primarily worked on the actual testing for our project just to make sure, verify everything's working correctly, properly recognizing errors, properly detecting them, and outputting them to a window once we are able to finish that aspect of the project. But this project essentially, it just boils down to something where we just want to make it easier for newer CS students to adapt and integrate into the K-State CS department. And we just want to make it a lot easier for all of the students to enter the professional program more smoothly in the future. This has been our capstone presentation for the Pendant Teams project. Thank you guys all for watching, listening along at home, and have a great day.